Hey Virgo, how many finishing touches do you have to put on before it's finished? Hey Virgo, welcome back to Distilled Tarot. My name's Shannon. I'll be guiding you through today's reading. This is a timeless reading for Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or wherever Virgo falls in your chart. Crosswatchers also welcome. And my intention for this reading is to help you come into better alignment with your highest good in this moment. Let's see what's going on with Virgo. The heart of your reading, we have the Chariot reversed. You're ready to make a move, but you're lining up all the details to make sure everything is perfect. All the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. You feel like this is a big venture for you and you want to make a big splash. So there's momentum available to you that you're missing out on through this desire to achieve perfection before it's launched. That's true, but you're weighing the pros and cons between launching a perfected product versus the move fast and break things mentality. It's not really the Virgo way, is it? So I feel like the Chariot is here to say, as soon as you're ready to take the parking brake off, it's gonna go forward quickly. But not only that, I want to say there's something about this, whenever you're watching this moment in time for you is perfectly matched to receive what you have to offer the world. So I feel like there's also a caution here to not wait too long, because there would be that, if you continue putting finishing touches on this thing before it's released to the world, then there's going to be a passing window, a window of opportunity that passes where it's pretty ideal. So I'd say put those finishing touches on and then call it done, call it ready. So let's see the challenge. The challenge is the launch date, 4 of Wands energy. It's when do I release this? When does it become a stable, real thing? When do my actions get celebrated and recognized by the world or by its intended audience? Let's see, what is Virgo focused on? Eight of Wands, momentum, yeah. So you're feeling it. You want this train to, the train is already on the tracks, but it's not yet in motion, right? It's loaded to the brim with fuel. You're ready for it to go. It's almost there's maybe the steam engine is running, this metaphor, and you've just you've got the brakes on. It's a really interesting energy that I'm picking up on. It's do you guys know those what are they, mechanical cars? The little toy cars where you pull it backwards and then you let go and it shoots forward. So I'm feeling like Virgo is how far back can I pull it? Because once I release, I want the maximum momentum. And not only that, you're pulling it back and pulling it back and pulling it back, and you're holding it in place as you paint all the correct details on, and you notice that the little figurine inside of the car isn't facing in the right direction. And then it's very Virgo level nitpicky from a sense of how good you can make it, and you really want to be celebrated for it. You want the recognition. Yeah, okay. Show me the recent past. What led up to this for Virgo? 5 of Cups. Okay, so there was a loss that propelled you into this momentum. You had to take some time to process and incorporate, transcend. They're also giving me, and transmute these energies that came into your life through a period of change, loss. Some things that were stalwarts in your life surprisingly left. Things that you expected to stay around, things that didn't seem like problems that needed to be solved, just of their own accord, kind of dissolved and faded into the past of your life. And I'm not feeling it being so disruptive, but there is this sort of wistful, like, wait, where did it go sort of energy. There's this, well, okay, I guess that's not going to be part of my future. So what does that change? What opportunities now exist where if I don't have that commitment, or I don't have that agreement, or I don't have that system in my life anymore, I have to rethink a lot of things. Yeah, it's a very interesting sort of energy. You're taking stock of what's left, or that's what you have been doing. And so you want to use every last piece of goodness that can contribute towards whatever outcome you're trying to achieve here. And it's like you want to make sure that you haven't forgotten anything. You want to look around and uncover all of the remnants of whatever just left your life and put it to good use and be like a good steward over your resources. I think you're pulling together like a pretty masterful plan here. It feels pretty like very well orchestrated. We have the sun energy to crown your reading. This is what Spirit feels is the reason you're experiencing this. So remember how I was saying, like, the things that have just left your life and you're taking stock and wanting to, like, put them to good use and be resourceful? I think you're incorporating that because you see all of the new opportunities that are arising. Like, okay, if that's not my commitment, if that's not my routine, if that's not the plan, then what is? And it's that asking. It's like, okay, let's say that these cups never spilled. And so those routines and those commitments and those systems were still in place in your life. You would continue on with the status quo and you'd be building in other areas of your life, right? But because those things did disintegrate and exit your life for whatever reason of their own accord, you're now kind of metaphorically like looking up from those things toward the future or toward like opportunities that exist. And so you're becoming aware of maybe new technology or new services, or okay, if that person quit this job, now I'm looking around for what I'm going to do to fulfill that need. And oh my gosh, there's this new AI technology that can accomplish X, Y, and Z, plus a whole bunch of other things that are new and exciting, and it can expand my business offerings. Or it's something about like trying to replace whatever just exited with a new and improved version. That sun energy is like expansive. It's also joyful. So beyond just the analysis of like what opportunities the sun represents, I do want to really describe for a bit just the emotion that comes through. It's like this relief, but also like I'm so busy with positive things, with exploring possibilities and implementing new things. Excuse me. I'm so busy with that I can't dwell on the loss or the sadness of the things that are no more. The joy and the excitement and the exploration of expansion is just so big that there's no room for No, I don't want to say there's no room for like grief or loss or sadness, because there's always room for whatever emotions that you have. But I guess I'm saying like there's so much positivity that you have a lot of good things to pay attention to. So you can fill your life with joy if you choose. In the near future, we have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. This is more of that stagnant energy, guys. And I'm feeling a bit edgier energy come through with the like ideal window of opportunity passing us by here, because the Knight of Pentacles is this slow and steady, methodical, I have a plan, I'm doing the plan. I have a plan, I'm doing the plan. Like day after day, right? It is a bit repetitive, but it's responsible and it gets where it's going. It does what it says that it's going to do. When it's reversed and in this context, I feel like it's just getting lost in the planning stages. It's like you want everything to be perfect and you're not ready to move forward until it's perfect. And this could even be like a false start, like you're on the path, you've taken a few steps forward, and then you say, all right, let me hit pause and I'm going to put more finishing touches on it. So we're going to see how the reading rounds out, whether or not that looks like it's going to be an issue, energetically speaking. But as of right now, I'd say watch out for that, because you have an opportunity for a lot of aligned momentum here. Surprise energy, we have the Hierophant. If this is entrepreneurial or business related, you could have some surprise regulation that you need to comply with, or some paperwork you need to fill out, some certification that you need. Maybe part of the thing that you put together, like it needed to be created by someone with a degree, or I don't know. There's something about like you couldn't have known. There's no way that you could have foreseen whatever this surprise is. And I think you're gonna really kick yourself or beat yourself up over it and feel like, oh, I should have known, I should have done a better job. But this is really strongly like, how would you have known? Like, this wasn't in some sort of a rule book for you. Another possibility, if that does not apply to your circumstances, if there's no sort of rules and regulations or government authority that is overseeing your type of situation, then this could be a making it official sort of energy. This could be like wanting to put down roots or stating the intention of some sort of permanence. Okay. Show me hopes and fears. Emperor. The Emperor comes through in hopes and fears. So you want to be in control. You want to be at the helm, but it also scares you. So this does feel very entrepreneurial. I do want to say it's very much like launching a business or putting yourself out there in some professional way. You want to be seen as an authority on whatever it is that you're releasing to the public. But the level of responsibility is something that you haven't necessarily held before. And I think that is why you feel so inclined to make it perfect. You feel the weight of that responsibility and you're taking it seriously. I'd say just remember that 90% of the people out there, maybe more, who are already doing it have way less qualifications and way less preparation and way less skill than you do at this thing. There are people out there doing it right now who are worse at it than you. So yes, you can be more perfect. You have the capacity to do a better job than they do, but you're already before you've even released anything to the public, you're already surpassing more than half of the people who are already out there doing it successfully. They have a fan base or followers or customers, and they're on their second or third or fourth iteration while you're still kind of putting detail work into your first launch. And I know it's the Virgo way. Trust me, I know. I'm a Virgo rising. I'm talking to myself just as much as you guys. But this is maybe a little bit spirit wanting me to give you a pep talk. Sometimes we just need to hear it, right? Because we know what we're capable of, but there's also what level of perfection is the marketplace seeking? Try to find that balance. Okay. I actually really, really like the Queen of Wands in reverse showing up as the end result. Because what this tells me is that you launch before you feel you're ready to. Hear me out. The Queen of Wands reversed is very, I don't know if I'm good enough to do this. I am putting myself out there in a way that people are going to analyze and scrutinize what I'm doing. I don't know if everyone is going to find me charming or desirable or powerful in the way that I need to come across. But she's there. She's showing up. She's the result. She's what's going out there to the world. So I have a feeling that the world is going to see her. This is your feeling as you are the Queen of Wands stepping out there in your Virgo mindset. But the world is going to see and really welcome what you have to offer. What advice do we have for Virgo? Okay, there's a mindset that needs to end. There's a finishing touch that needs to be the finish line here. The Ten of Swords is saying, figure out what the ending point is to the dissection, to the analysis. Figure out what that is and then stick to it. And let that phase, that planning, that preparation phase end. There's the cliche of a painter who never finishes a single piece of art. Although everyone who looks at the paintings would say they're masterpieces. But the painter, in the painter's mind, there's always a nuance. There's always another layer of detail or a imperfection that can be adjusted. In these readings that I've been recording, there have been a lot of musings on the concept of perfection and how we are all perfect in every moment, and yet perfection doesn't exist. And I'm sure there's some, a lot of philosophers have written about this and pondered these ideological kind of concepts. But the way that this is coming through, the concept of perfection for this reading, for this phase in your life, whatever this topic is that you're experiencing, it's very much like celebrating the fact that you have the capacity to see what can be perfected, and then also the capacity and ability and the skill to implement ways to get closer to perfection. And so you want to allow those things to come to their full expression through you and make the thing perfect. But there's the other side of that in the time is not limitless, and the audience who is going to be perceiving the thing that you have to release will love whatever iteration you put out there. They would have loved 10 iterations ago. Do you know what I mean? And so in a sense, the level of perfection that you're trying to achieve is irrelevant. So I know that's like not anything that a Virgo ever wants to hear, but that's the message that's coming through, so I'm sharing it. So Virgo, I hope this helped. Take care. Good luck with your achievement, your thing that you're working on. I hope it goes really well. It looks like it will. And I will see you back next time. Bye.